This presentation will help you write essays number 6 and number 7. They are like weeks 4 and 5, the same essay, only two different versions. Word count range is 500 to 700 words, and you will be comparing and contrasting two centuries on one specific subtopic. The points are similar to weeks 4 and 5. You get 5 points for writing the week 6 first version and my advice on improving it, and 300, this time it's 300, not 200 or 100 or 50, for the week 7 final version. The due date, as usual, is Saturday at midnight in weeks 6 and 7, and you will use the correct week 6 and 7 drop boxes. You have 13 different options. You are always comparing something from a specific time period, like maybe the 1950s or the 1980s or 1910 in the 20th century to the 21st century today. You have the 13 choices, and that could be family, employment opportunities, sports, cars, phones, maps, typewriters and other technological devices, magazines and newspapers, shopping malls and downtown areas, fashion, breakfast or food choices in general, toys and games for children, and presidential campaigns. Now remember, you can't use sources in this class, so you have to choose a topic that you could write from your own knowledge and your own personal experience. You have to ask yourself, why are you making this comparison? What do you want to prove about how our society has evolved over time? Now, there is no right or wrong answer. You do have to decide between two specific decades, the 1900s or 1920s or 1950s or 1980s compared to today. That's very, very important because January 1st, 1900 was very different from December 31st, 1999, when we had so much technology, etc. So narrow the topic by choosing a specific decade. Now study the samples of outlines in last week's Friday discussion. Okay, that would be week 5, Friday discussion, when we did the comparing and contrasting outlines. Ask questions if you need to. I won't spend too much time on plagiarism except to say that this is the 300-point assignment in week 7, and you will fail the class, most likely, if you lose 300 points for cheating by plagiarizing. Ask questions about plagiarism if you need to. Formal writing, just as we've been doing on the 3rd and 4th essays. Same rules. Same word choices. Be sure you're not using words like nowadays or okay or can't or kids or it's. Very formal and scholarly writing. You know about paragraphing. Follow the rules of good guidelines. Use topic sentences to express the one central idea and have only one central idea in each paragraph. Creating the essay. Step 1, choose your topic and your time frame. So you have 13 topic choices, and then within that you have to decide, do I want to do the 1930s versus today? And then the next step is to decide on your outline structure, outlining in alternating points or block style. Then outline the assignment, write the rough draft, revise as necessary, submit the rough draft by Saturday in week 6. That's 5 points and you get my feedback. There's no late assignments. because I have to get the feedback in time for you to make the changes. Then submit the final essay the next week on Saturday by midnight. Remember, you lose 30 points a day if you miss the deadline on the final essay. There's no late assignments for rough drafts. You know about the formatting. We've been working on that. We want to get you ready for your more advanced classes when you'll use MLA and APA. I have not been teaching you specifically how to write citations, but you are using the common academic guidelines, for example, your double spacing and using 1-inch margins. You know not to use Calibri 11. I hate that font. Use Times New Roman 12. I'm reading hundreds of pages of student work each week, so using the right font is important. Contact information goes against the left margin, not in a header or a text box. Check the before-after spacing. The default is usually set the wrong way. You have to set it to double spacing, and your other option is zeros. Don't hit the enter key at the end of the line. Let the lines wrap naturally. And you've written, essays all along, all semester, but this one is worth 300 points. And the instructions are perhaps a little more complicated because you're comparing two things, but they are also from two different centuries. So this is more complex. And you also have to have a very significant reason for making this comparison. So the thesis statement is crucial. If you have any concerns, if you don't understand the instructions, most importantly, submit a rough draft. It's only 5 points, and it's more or less a pass-fail assignment in most cases. But the most important thing is if you submit it on time, you will get my feedback. So please don't procrastinate on this important final writing exam. If you have any questions, you can call or write or do both. I look forward to reading your work.